Psalm 9, a psalm of David of thanksgiving for deliverance. Psalm 9 is a psalm of thanksgiving, trust, and reflection that moves from personal praise to a wider confidence in God's righteous rule over the world. Traditionally attributed to David, it presents a vision of God as both deliverer in personal experience and just ruler over all nations. The psalm opens with wholehearted praise, verses 1 to 2. The speaker commits to thanking God with complete sincerity, not only in private devotion but also in public declaration. God's marvelous works are remembered and proclaimed, showing that worship is rooted in memory and testimony. Gratitude here is not passive emotion but active proclamation of divine faithfulness. In verses 3 to 6, attention turns to God's decisive intervention against enemies. Those who oppose righteousness are described as ultimately collapsing under divine judgment. Their defeat is attributed entirely to God's action, emphasizing that human strength or opposition is never ultimate. This section establishes a worldview in which evil is powerful but not permanent, and where divine authority ultimately overturns injustice. The theological center of the psalm appears in verses 7 to 10, where God is portrayed as eternal, righteous, and trustworthy. Unlike human rulers or shifting nations, God's reign does not end. He is described as a refuge for the oppressed and a judge who rules the world with fairness. Trust in God is linked to knowing His character. Those who understand who He is naturally place their confidence in Him. Justice is not limited to the future but is also seen in present experience, as God continually upholds what is right. Verses 11 to 12 expand the response of praise into a call for proclamation among the nations. God's deeds are not to remain hidden but are to be declared widely. At the same time, the psalm emphasizes God's attentiveness to the suffering of the humble. The combination of global proclamation and intimate care presents a balanced picture of divine concern for both the world and the individual. In verses 13 to 14, the tone shifts to a personal plea. Despite previous expressions of confidence, the speaker still seeks mercy and deliverance from present distress. This tension reflects a lived experience of faith. Past deliverance does not eliminate present need. The desire to be rescued is tied again to the purpose of praise, showing that deliverance leads to worship. Verses 15 to 18 reflect on the fate of the wicked and the enduring care of God for the needy. Evil is portrayed as self-defeating, with those who act unjustly ultimately falling into the consequences of their own actions. At the same time, the afflicted are not forgotten. The justice of God is revealed both in the downfall of wrongdoing and in the preservation of the vulnerable, reinforcing the moral order governed by divine righteousness. The psalm concludes in verses 19 to 20 with a final appeal for God to act decisively so that nations may recognize their own limitations. Human pride is confronted with the reality of divine authority, and the request for judgment is ultimately a request for humility and awareness of dependence on God. Taken as a whole, Psalm 9 presents a unified vision in which praise, justice, and trust are intertwined. It moves from personal gratitude to global reflection, affirming that history, morality, and human destiny are held within the governance of God. Within this framework, many readers also see a broader fulfillment in Jesus Christ, understood as the righteous ruler who embodies divine justice and offers refuge to the oppressed. The psalm ultimately teaches that praise arises from remembering what God has done, trust is grounded in who God is, and hope rests in the certainty that justice will prevail under His rule.
Psalm 9. To the chief musician, to the tune of Death of the Son, a psalm of David. I will praise you, O Lord, with my whole heart. I will tell of all your marvelous works. I will be glad and rejoice in you. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. When my enemies turn back, they shall fall and perish at your presence. For you have maintained my right and my cause. You sat on the throne judging in righteousness. You have rebuked the nations. You have destroyed the wicked. You have blotted out their name forever and ever. O enemy, destructions are finished forever. And you have destroyed cities, even their memory has perished. But the Lord shall endure forever. He has prepared his throne for judgment. He shall judge the world in righteousness, and he shall administer judgment for the peoples in uprightness. The Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. and those who know your name will put their trust in you. For you, Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you. Sing praises to the Lord who dwells in Zion. Declare his deeds among the people. When he avenges blood, he remembers them. He does not forget the cry of the humble. Have mercy on me, O Lord. Consider my trouble from those who hate me. You who lift me up from the gates of death, that I may tell of all your praise in the gates of the daughter of Zion. I will rejoice in your salvation. The nations have sunk down in the pit which they made. In the net which they hid, their own foot is caught. The Lord is known by the judgment he executes. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Meditation. Selah. The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God. For the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectation of the poor shall not perish forever. Arise, O Lord, do not let man prevail. Let the nations be judged in your sight. Put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Selah.